So we're shooting the Segunda Snaffle. This is a big D snaffle. Typically these horses are working behind the vertical a little bit. Sorry about my arm. So that's it on the tongue. As you can see, it rides down fairly hard on the tongue, and those points are going to go right into it, and the points are also seated. Here's our bar right under there, just like the correction port. Now this isn't going to rotate too much because it's a snaffle, but on a hard turn, you see how that drags? Look at how that's clenched into the tongue. And pulling it this way, this is our oh, really moved my tongue, huh? This is our seesaw action. So even though this tongue is not attached, that's the same effect it would have. See how it grabs the tongue and rolls it back and forth? That's what your horse is feeling in his mouth when you ride with these Segunda ports. So if you put a curb on them, it's really, really bad. The tongue usually goes up in there, and then that port is going to be right down on these bar points. Now if we take the tongue out to show you where those bar points hit in relation to the actual bone, you can see that they're right on top of those knife edge. So when they roll over, it's pretty bad. If the tongue is caught up in that port, these things are walking back and forth across those bars. Now, we've got the same problem. This is hanging just like it would in a horse's mouth. And where is it in relation to these palate bones? It's right up there on them. It's touching. It does not fit inside the palate bones, as we strip out our anatomical things again. It literally fits right up on them. So moving back and forth again, it's going to hit these palate bones. It's catching them. It's just a nasty bit. Now, if this was a curb bit, it would be horrific. If you had leverage pulling that port back into that bones and into the palate, it would just be tremendously bad. It just a horrible, horrible bit. So avoid these. Certainly don't use them with any leverage. Even hanging in the horse's mouth, if the horse is just adjusting this, his tongue is coming in contact with those points, there's just no comfortable place to stick this bit, because if it's hanging correctly, which is slightly off kilter, you can see if he shuts his mouth, he's putting pressure on, see it roll on the cannon, and the second he opens his mouth the slightest bit, that thing's going to go forward and grab. So not a good bit to use. We're going to give it an F.